Greetings, fellow Earthlings. My name is Jessica, and today I'm going to shed a light on chakras. Now, I'm sure you've heard the term before, all that namaste, all that crazy stuff in yoga class and whatnot. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's really not that complicated, so I'm going to give you a nice and easy lesson. All right, let's start. So, what does chakra mean? Sounds kind of weird, right? Sounds kind of like chalk. Not quite right. Chakra, anyways, is the Sanskrit word for wheel. Now, it's used mostly in Eastern cultures and is now newly integrated into our Western cultures because we're being all peaceful and zen and whatnot. So, let me get into it a little bit more for you. If you like rainbows, you're gonna like chakras because they're the color of the rainbow. Yay! So each chakra has its own color correlation, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit later. And there are different like emotional and behavioral side effects that come from overactive and underactive chakras. So there are ways to help balance that, so no worries there. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into the details of the chakras. So there are 7 main chakras, as you may see in a lot of very interesting pictures like this, and this, and this. Now, just like a rainbow, it's in the same order from bottom to top, bottom being red, top being violet. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the base chakra. So this is your the red one at the very bottom, and it is correlated with your survival as well as your sense of security. So people that tend to have a hard time grounding themselves, people that don't feel safe in their environment, are going to have a very imbalanced root chakra. It has a lot to do with kind of feeling calm and stable in your environment and in your emotions. Now, moving up to the second chakra, which is your sacral chakra. It's located right by the belly button, or the navel, if you will. It's orange in color, so going up that rainbow again. And that one kind of has to do with how you interact with the world and how you kind of bring in new experiences. It's also a lot to do with your creativity, kind of inner child, as well as your sensuality and sexuality. So people with imbalances in this might have sexual dysfunction or having a hard time like creating or expressing themselves in that way, because it's all about interacting with the world. The third chakra is the solar plexus chakra. Now this location is right between the ribs and the little squishy bit right about there. It's yellow in color. And it has a lot to do with your sense of personal power as well as your overall happiness. So usually when you feel anxiety, sometimes you feel it right in here. That's where both the solar plexus chakra is located. So people with issues in that chakra might experience feeling like depressed and just don't have a sense of power and control, and just kind of just feeling really melancholy, like they just can't really move forward. They say that the world is actually stuck in the first 3 chakras, which is why we can't ascend into our heart, because we're stuck in these 3, in a way, primal stages. So moving on up, we're moving into our heart now. Green in color, of course, it's located in the chest. And that one has a lot to do with our connection to the world and to other people, just kind of our sense of unconditional love for ourselves and everyone in our life, essentially. Of course, common sense here. Heart, if people have issues with their heart, they have a hard time connecting with others. They have a hard time feeling love and happiness, and may be a little bit selfish at times because they're not able to connect with people in that way. So moving on up to throat. Now, throat chakra is blue in color. It's usually located right about here. Usually, you feel a lump in your throat. Sometimes that's your throat chakra trying to be like, let me out. So yeah, blue in color, and that one is correlated with communication, of course, and how you express yourself and how you express your truth. So being able to speak up for yourself when you need to with love and compassion. Moving on up to the third eye chakra. I'm sure you've seen a gazillion different depictions of like a third eye right in between the eyebrows. In Eastern culture especially, you notice it. That one is your third eye chakra, governing, purple. governing your sense of dreaming, intuition, your ability to make decisions and have some insight. So somebody that has issues in this might have issues making decisions, might have no dreams, might just feel a little bit like they can't really follow their gut. Yeah, just kind of things along those lines, kind of more of the spiritual center and the spiritual opening. It's kind of the eye in which we see the unseen. Great, so moving up, we got the crown chakra. And this one is our connection to the world. It's violet in color, and it really governs our sense of being, essentially. How we're this interconnected web of light and love beings and whatnot. And it also, if people prefer to call it God energy or higher self energy or whatever you choose to call it, it's our connection to that little bit of extra, and it allows us to feel a sense of belonging. Now, if that chakra is underactive, it's usually not a really good one to have underactive, because you really feel completely disconnected. You feel like there's a sense of numbness, and some people feel like suicidal and really upset if the chakra's out of balance. So yeah, essentially that is the 7 chakras. If you have any questions, feel free to leave any comments below. This is quite a little brief touching upon them. And yeah, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask away. And there are different ways to, like, maybe listening to some of these, you've been like, oh, maybe that chakra's inactive for me, or I can really relate to that statement. So you might have some overactive or underactive chakras. So there's different ways of balancing those through affirmations, through crystals, essential oils, yoga poses, all kinds of different things. If you want me to make another video elaborating that, I'd be happy to. But yeah, so the basics of the 7 chakras. And well, I hope you can use this in your yogi knowledge and new age culture-y-ness or whatever. And yes, enjoy your day. Mwah! Bye, lovelies.